プライムワンスタジオはミュージアムマスターライン3分の1スケールジャングルハンタープレデターを発表しました。すぐに世界中のプレデターファンから多くの反響をいただき、さらなる製品ディティールのアップデートを重ねています。我々プライムワンスタジオは世界中のプレデターファンが持つ熱い情熱や熱気に応えて、さらなるプレデター関連商品の製品化に取り組んでいきます。
3 years after the theatrical release of Predator in 1987, the greatly anticipated Predator 2 was shown in theaters. Directed by Stephen Hopkins, the film details the way of life and behaviors of the hunter-predator. In highlighting the struggles of these extraterrestrial creatures, Predator 2 is not only a cult classic, but a massive step forward for the saga.
今回ミュージアムマスターラインプレデターに新たに加わるラインナップは3分の1スケールスタチューシティハンタープレデターです。
La construcción del proyecto comenzó con el modelado del personaje en pose T y con una malla en low poly, lo que nos ayudó a establecer las proporciones correctas y para poder compararlo con el Jungle Hunter en detalle. Luego tratamos de ser lo más precisos posibles, con una búsqueda exhaustiva de referencias, consultando libros, explorando la web y revisando la película cuadro por cuadro, para encontrar el ángulo correcto y para estar seguros de que todo se vea exactamente igual a la película.
シティーハンター特有のギラついたカッパーの輝きや金属の重み、渋さを重視して塗装に取り組みました。3分の1というビッグスケールなので、細部にこだわりつつも汚しの表現などはダイナミックな印象を与えられるようにアプローチしています。頭部、胴体にある独特な体表模様を徹底的に調べて再現しました。航空内の表現の生々しさを体験するため、ぜひ実物の口の中を覗き込んでみてほしいです。
El diseño de la base y el suelo tienen distintos elementos del piso y paredes de la nave espacial con formas orgánicas distintas, muy al estilo depredador.
肩、胸、足、腰のアーマーなど、よく見ると素材感が異なるパーツが多種あるので、パーツごとに色の構成やウェザリング方法を変えるなどして単調な印象にならないように工夫を凝らしています。シティーハンターといえばバイオマスク装着時の印象が強いので、バイオマスクのディティールとメタリック表現には特にこだわりを持って取り組みました。
También hemos reproducido cada uno de los cráneos trofeo que pueden verse en la escena final y fuimos más allá, agregando más detalles y realismo a cada una de las calaveras, disfrutando mucho de esta parte del trabajo. Así como con los diseños de los pedestales para algunos de los cráneos, también tratamos de darles identidad y características relacionadas con la industria de depredador.
ビルの屋上から見下ろすシーン、精肉工場、ラストバトル。映画内で描かれた印象的なシーン再現を念頭に制作されています。
血だらけのスカルトロフィーは背中に背負うことが可能で、生々しい光沢にすることで、まるで先ほどまで生きていたかのようなリアルさを醸し出しています。ガントレットは開閉が可能になっていて、表示モニターが点灯します。LED が内側だけでなく、閉めた時も光るのはプライムワンスタジオならではのギミックではないでしょうか。
En esta ocasión buscamos integrar esta estatua a la estatua del Jungle Hunter, considerando la escala, manteniendo la armonía entre las poses y el diseño general y las proporciones de las bases para que puedan exhibirse juntas, interactuar y complementarse al mismo tiempo.
This statue is truly an homage to the Predator. It's massive in size, but has all the intricate, movie-accurate details that any Predator fan would appreciate. Both the City Hunter and Jungle Hunter deserve to go into the hands of our beloved, passionate collectors.
ミュージアムマスターライン3分の1スケールスタチューシティハンタープレデター。プレデターファンの皆様に必ず喜んでいただけるという自信を持ってプライムワンスタジオがお届けします。
Welcome to Next Level X. For this event, X stands for 10, as in 10 years. It's been 10 amazing years since Prime 1 Studio burst forth onto the high-end, large-scale collectible scene and has been dominating worldwide ever since. My name is Dante Carver, only one of your hosts for today's festivities. Because for this very special installment of Next Level, I'll be joined by my co-host, actress, singer, and popular media presenter, Shizuka Anderson. Welcome, Shizuka.
Thanks, Dante. I'm so excited to be here today, and I'm sure we're on the same page when I say that I'm so excited for all of the phenomenal products that we'll be revealing today. And since this is a special anniversary installment of Next Level, we'll be presenting it in 3 parts. Each part will be an expanded and thorough presentation of all the newest and coolest reveals Prime 1 Studio has in store.
So, without further delay, let's get to what you've all been waiting for. Prime 1 Studios.
Next Level X, Part 1.
I can feel you in my heart, you in my arms. I can feel you in my heart, you in my arms. I'm caught in your whispers. There's nothing that I could do. So won't you escape from you? I'm caught in your whispers. There's nothing that I could do. So won't you escape from you?
The video game industry is an ever-changing landscape of technological innovations and user experience. Dynamic game companies are always on the edge of the next big thing. There are ever-increasing numbers of new players, and getting their attention is more art than science. That's why game design and artwork has become more vibrant and more exciting than ever. With each new game, Prime 1 Studio is on the scene to represent the most amazing and drop-dead gorgeous video game statues around. These statues are sure to stoke the fires in the hearts of passionate gamers everywhere.
Sony is a name that needs no introduction. Bolstered by the fact that the Sony PlayStation is a revolutionary console for the ages. Prime 1 Studio and Sony have had a long relationship of producing eye-opening statues from stunning games. Up next is an impressive summary of everything they've created together so far.
From all those fan favorites to the newest heart-pounding titles, here's what's next from Prime 1 Studio.
Known as one of the greatest and most influential games of all time, Demon's Souls launched a plethora of Souls-like action role-playing games since its inception. Its high difficulty and addictive gameplay places it in well-deserved legendary territory. Prime 1 Studio is therefore incredibly proud to reveal one of the most amazing bosses of Demon's Souls in the form of the Tower Knight. In this jaw-dropping statue, the Tower Knight stands in the way of an intrepid knight squaring off in his Bolitarian courtyard arena. You can just hear the boss music now, can't you? This statue packs a wallop in its sheer mass and heft. Not only does it look heavy, it truly is. The superb craftspeople at Prime 1 Studio have really outdone themselves with not only the Tower Knight, but everything in this diorama piece. Looking at the Tower Knight from top to bottom, you can really appreciate all the sculpting work that was done through all the impressive scroll work and filigree that's worked into the thick, magical armor. The gigantic Tower Knight suit of armor is also contrasted well with the indestructible chainmail he wears underneath. Every plate of armor, from his helmet to his cuirass to his sabatons, are impressively rendered in shiny metallic paint. It'll make you believe that the whole thing was exquisitely hammered from magical metal. Fighting a 30-foot-tall magical knight might seem hard enough even before you take his magical lance and shield into consideration. The only thing to save the little knight will be his quick wits and footwork as the magical lance swings around to deal fatal blow after fatal blow. And if that weren't perilous enough, try getting through that immensely thick and towering giant shield. He might seem to be on a fool's errand, but the tiny knight at the dangerous giant's feet still looks up to the challenge. Offensively posed, the well-appointed knight is covered head to toe in light plate armor and equipped with his trusty sword and solid-looking shield, seemingly ready to rush through the metallic behemoth's legs in an instant. Don't forget your light weapon spell and your anti-magic field to help you bring down this towering terror. If you feel the need to snap up this amazing statue diorama, stay tuned to all Prime 1 Studio social channels for the latest updates about Prime 1 Studio's Demon's Souls Tower Knight.
Hunters need to level up as they're on the prowl for nightmares. And one way to do this is featured in this long-awaited game.
Are you a hunter, roaming through a decrepitly Gothic Victorian-era-inspired city, looking to level up in your never-ending mission to unravel the mysteries of a diseased Yarnan? Well, viewer, you are in luck. Prime One Studio is proud to present a pivotal character in the critically acclaimed action role-playing game Bloodborne, the doll. Power up your insight to animate the seemingly ordinary porcelain doll. Created by Grumman the First Hunter, the doll is based on a student that he used to hold affection for called Lady Maria. Here to embolden the hunter's sickly spirit, the doll awakens that hunter's dream, devoted to serve the hunter loyally and to love him completely. But are her affections real or artificial? Only the doll knows. The skillful artists at Prime One Studio have brought all the drama and the sublime beauty from Bloodborne into this fantastic statue. The doll frail beauty shines through from her glowing face as she sits unmoving on her rugged throne. The ethereal quality of her cloak and vestments sculpted to perfection and painted to stunning reality by Prime One's masterful artisans. The manner in which her scarf falls across her front, the lacy quality of her collar, the realistic weight of her garments will astound you and elevate your Bloodborne collection with unrivaled finery. Carefully painted in muted tones to respectfully emulate the source material, the doll's garments feel cloth-like and effectual. The doll speaks to the hunter from her perch, a throne of earth and stone, accompanied by a lamp to provide a respite to a weary and slain hunter. Whether or not you already own the Bloodborne the Hunter statue, you owe it to yourself as a Bloodborne fan to stay tuned to all Prime One Studio social channels for the latest updates about Prime One Studio's Bloodborne, the doll.
Soon to be a streaming show, the next game relies on intense action and dramatic storytelling. Prime One Studio has created a statue that delivers on both.
Few games get under your skin and leave you thinking about them long after you've put down the controller. My friends, The Last of Us Part 2 is one such game. Critically acclaimed for its gameplay, characterizations, performances, and visual fidelity, The Last of Us Part 2 combines a memorable survival horror narrative with pulse-pounding action. The thrilling post-apocalyptic sequel picks up years after the first game and brings a different kind of gameplay, featuring two protagonists in a life and death struggle, not only with the cannibalistic infected and antagonistic human enemies, but ultimately with each other. Ellie comes back from the first chapter out for revenge on a more than capable Abby Anderson. These two characters clash many times during the game, and you can bring that to life with this amazing Ellie and Abby statue set from Prime One Studio. Prime One Studio is absolutely proud to present this stunning statue set to you. Ellie's in stalking mode, revolver ready to do fatal damage to her prey. Meanwhile, Abby is more than ready to bludgeon any coming attacker armed with a hammer and a tough attitude. These two statues can be displayed side by side or back to back, depending on how much drama you want to instill into the scene. Prime One Studio's amazing artists have done these statues the ultimate service by studying the game assets to be able to bring out the best interpretation of these steely, determined characters. Posed on their own arched pedestals, each statue is a vignette of tense action and thrilling suspense. Both Ellie and Abby will come with a number of swappable weapons to increase the storytelling. Just looking at the intensity between these two, you will not be disappointed with these The Last of Us Part 2 statues. Stay tuned to all Prime One Studio social channels for all the latest updates about Prime One Studio's The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie and Abby.
Voice calls me forth through darkness unknown. My heart with silence burn in the storm. You can take my hand in the flood. Capcom is synonymous with gaming. From the ultimate fighting series Street Fighter to the definitive horror survival series Resident Evil.
Prime One Studio has had 10 great years of developing statues from Capcom's deep library of games. Here's a look back at all those cool products, and following that, what's in store for you on this 10th anniversary.
Devil May Cry is a solid action-adventure series that boasts entertaining gameplay and impeccable style. To celebrate Devil May Cry's 20th anniversary last year, Prime One Studio pulled out all the stops to create awesome DMC5 statues for their 10th anniversary.
全世界シリーズ累計出荷数2600万本を誇るスタイリッシュアクションゲームデビルメイクライ。シリーズで最も壮大かつ爽快感にあふれ、大人気キャラクターのバージルがプレイヤブルとして登場した最新作デビルメイクライ5スペシャルエディションも皆様の記憶に新しいことと思います。プライムワンスタジオではこれまでデビルメイクライ5のメインキャラクター4人のスタチューを制作してきました。作中のフォトリアルな顔の造形と細かく作り込まれた衣装を忠実にスタチューへと彫り込んでいくことで、文字通りスタイリッシュな立体化に成功してきたのです。そしてプライムワンスタジオ10周年を記念したこれらメインキャラクターのカラーバリエーションアイテムも登場。ゲームプレイヤーの中にはこれらのカラーリングの方がしっくりくる方もいるのではないでしょうか。さらに10周年記念ページではデビルメイクライ5いつの秀明ディレクターよりお祝いのコメントもいただきました。2022年にはシリーズ20周年を記念して新宿ギャラリーショップにて展示イベントを開催しました。これまでに発売したスタチューはもちろん、メインキャラクターの撮影用衣装やプライムワンのオリジナルアパレルブランドウェアエバーウィズとのコラボアイテムも公開。そして大人気のキューティーワンシリーズフィギュアやこのイベントを記念したグッズを販売し、多くのデビルメイクライファンの方にご来場いただくことができました。今回は最新のデビルメイクライ5カラーバリエーションアイテムを詳しくご紹介します。プライムワンスタジオが誇る技術で立体化した最強のデビルハンターたちの造形美を見ていきましょう。それではまずこちらの映像をご覧ください。
高精細なグラフィックによってさらなる進化を遂げたデビルメイクライ5。プライムワンスタジオはその美麗な造形を保ちつつ、ゲーム本編で登場する一味違ったカラーリングのキャラクターたちを立体化しました。以前にリリースしたオリジナルカラーモデルと同様、4分の1スケールアルティメットプレミアムマスターラインでの登場です。ネロ、ダンテ、バージルはそれぞれゲーム内の EX カラーを再現。ネロはデビルメイクライ4フォルトゥナ騎士団の制服を模した白と金のカラー。ダンテは DMC デビルメイクライの黒と赤。バージルはデビルメイクライ3登場時の鮮やかな青に彩色されています。ネロとダンテは DX 版の両腕の差し替えパーツも豊富に付属。自由に差し替えてゲーム内でよく使う装備を再現することも可能です。さらに V はデビルトリガー状態をモチーフにしたバリエーションで登場。ナイトメアを解き放ったことで全身のタトゥーが消えて、ダンテたちと同様に美しい銀髪へと変化した状態です。ゲームプレイ中はなかなかじっくりと見られないこの姿、ぜひコレクションに加えていただきたい一品です。予約開始のお知らせはプライムワンスタジオのホームページと SNS で随時配信中。これからもデビルメイクライスタチューの最新情報をお届けいたしますのでお見逃しなく。
But that's not all the Devil May Cry reveals we have for you.
That's right! In part 3 of Next Level Showcase X, you'll be treated to the reveals of those cool Devil May Cry 3 Dante and Virgil statues. So, stay tuned for that.
Lastly, mobile games have experienced a boom in terms of adoption rate and sophistication. With more and more fans turning to mobile gaming, it was only a matter of time before Prime 1 Studio catered to this fandom. From Fate, Grand Order, comes this fearsome assassin Grand Servant.
舞台は未来が失われた世界。目的は人類史の守護。聖杯を求め過去を旅する RPG フェイトグランドオーダーより異彩を放つサーバントがコンセプトマスターラインに現れました。ゲーム中、通称キングハサンで知られる山の翁をお送りします。欲に溺れたハサンの首を断つ暗殺教団の初代ハサン。個性豊かなサーバントが数多く登場するゲーム中でもプレイヤーから特に高い人気を誇るキャラクターの一人です。その善悪の悲願を超えた魅力が込められたスタチュー。各部をじっくり見ていきましょう。堂々とした体を覆うのは多数のパーツで構成された甲冑。両肩、胸部に宿るドクロなどのアイコニックなパーツはもちろん、上腕に覗くチェインメールや風化したマントまでディティールを追求しています。抑制が効いたトーンも作中のイメージ通り、威厳に満ちたガンメタル、この世ならざるブルー、高貴さを歌うパープル、色合いからも彼の特徴を感じていただけるはずです。主外に守られた頭部も高精細な仕上がり、側頭部からせり出した2本の角は直線と曲線の組み合わせにこだわり、見る者に畏怖の念を抱かせる迫力のフォルムを再現しました。またドクロの仮面には LED による発光ギミックを内蔵。青白い光が両目に灯り、感情の機微を映します。頭部は2種類用意されており、ボーナス版にはアレンジの入った少し険しい表情のディティールが入ったものが付属します。両の手を置くのはアズライール。何の変哲もない体験ながら彼が生涯奮い続け捧げ続けた信仰が染みついた宝具です。造作なく巻かれたベルト、左右対称の彫刻、切り伏せたハサンたちの血、さまざまな造形表現でそれらを具現化し、無名にして崇高な一振りに仕上げています。そして FGO のロゴがあしらわれた特製ベースは幽谷をイメージしたもの。むき出しの大地には敗者の剣とドクロが打ち捨てられ、死を告げる天使の羽がクリアパーツのエフェクトとともに舞っています。暗き死の予感が漂う作品の世界をお楽しみください。 至高の造形を求めて登場したキングハサンこと山の翁。その立ち姿に怠惰、堕落、劣化の影はありません。ぜひあなたのコレクションにどうぞ。フェイトグランドオーダー山の翁は好評予約受付中です。詳しくはプライムワンスタジオ公式オンラインストアをご覧ください。
Today's 10th anniversary celebration would not be complete without featuring Prime One Studios' most prolific collaborator. A master artist in his own right, Josh Neesey has proved to be an amazing partner and friend of the studio.
Now, let's dive into the rich history that Prime One Studio and Josh Neesey have built. Wonder at all the incredible collaborations that have been and marvel at the newest collaboration that will be.
On September 17, 1984, a groundbreaking animated series burst forth onto the scene and captured both the minds and hearts of kids around the world. Transformers was born out of the sheer will of its creators, Takara Tomy and Hasbro. From disparate designs, characters, and storylines came a unified blockbuster franchise that continues to delight and inspire audiences to this day.
在过去的10年中 ，Prime One Studio 对变形金刚雕像并不陌生，他们一次又一次地展示了在制作精细复杂雕像方面的专业技术和令人难以置信的真实感。过去的10年不仅是一个学习的过程，也是一个创新的试炼。最近，我们首次尝试动态造型的变形金刚雕像，制作了一个集创造力和娴熟技术于一身的新作。 非疫擎天柱。
優れたコンセプトデザイナー、そしてプライムワンスタジオと10年来の協力関係にある良き友人、ジョシュ・ニジー。このジェットウィングのスタチューを手掛けたのは彼に他なりません。ジョシュはリベンジ、ダークサイドムーン、最後の騎士王など大ヒットしたトランスフォーマー映画のコンセプトデザインを生み出しています。彼の未来的で複雑なディティールを持つメカやロボットのデザインを見れば分かる通り、女子は卓越した造形センスの持ち主です。パーツ一つ一つの意味や関係性を深く理解し、繊細かつ大胆な手法でそれらを表現。説得力あふれる姿を私たちに届けてくれます。
Hi, my name is Josh Neesey. I'm a concept designer for film and video games. I've worked on a number of the Transformers movies and a ton of Marvel movies. I've also had the pleasure of working with Prime One over the years, doing a bunch of figures, and I've always been so impressed with their artists and the extra detail and ideas that they bring to figures, that they do things I didn't think could be done. So along those lines, I'm really happy to reveal Power Master Prime. So with this design, it's an Optimus Prime design that, Optimus Prime has been done a number of times. So I thought, how could this be different? What can we do above and beyond? And they told me to go all out just this once. And so I did, and they knocked it out of the park. It's amazing. So I hope you love it as much as I do.
语言根本不足以表达这座雕像在各个方面所展现的令人惊叹之处，以及设计师 Josh 本人对复杂设计的诠释能力。这个能量战士擎天柱以拥有最多的部件而闻名，甚至超越了以前的冠军飞翼擎天柱。
Over the next decade, with each and every Transformer statue that Prime One Studio developed and manufactured, the studio's prototyping and production sophistication grew and grew, until finally they had amassed enough to attempt the most technologically complex Transformer statue they have ever created. Power Master Optimus Prime is the culmination of 10 years of Prime One Studio research, experience, and hard work.
能量战士的概念来源于变形金刚玩具系列，一个独立的机器人转变为擎天柱的頭部，提供了一种新型的变形模式。
プライムワンスタジオ史上最も重要なスタチューの一つと言っても過言ではないでしょう。
This overwhelming statue will feature not one but two different modes, Striker Mode and Jetwing Mode. In Striker Mode, Power Master Optimus Prime packs twin shoulder-mounted double-barreled blaster cannons, forearm-mounted guns or double swords, a back-mounted plasma cannon, and thigh-mounted missile arrays. In Jetwing Mode, Power Master Optimus Prime comes with everything mentioned before, but with additional fin funnel wing arrays on either arm to increase his firepower and enable him to fly.
アイデアの本質を捉え、膨大な知識量と蓄積された経験の全てを駆使してデザインに落とし込む。設立より変わらないプライムワンスタジオのスタイルです。
Prime One Studio 今年将庆祝其10周年里程碑纪念日，因此我们希望为热爱着变形金刚的粉丝们呈现最好的作品。
But that's not all Prime One Studio and Josh Nizik have to show during this anniversary celebration. In Part 2 of Next Level Showcase X, Josh and the studio will bring you a legendary figure who could be a god or a demon.
That was an amazing statue. Did you see how cool that was?
Most definitely. But you'd think there's all from Josh, but you'd be mistaken. Don't forget to tune in to Part 2 of Next Level Showcase X to see more of his amazing work.
Prime One Studio is passionately dedicated to Japanese content. The studio's master sculptors and painters are the best in the biz for reproducing popular anime and manga characters to turn them into dynamic, breathtaking statues that we all love to collect.
Well said. This next figure is from a far-flung post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland. Fist of the North Star remains impressive for staying relevant all these years, and this next statue is solid proof of that.
2000年の歴史を受け継いだ末帝ケンシロウ、拳による乱世の統治を目指した長兄ラオウ、そしてまた一人北斗の兄弟がプライムワンスタジオのラインナップに登場しました。非道の限りを尽くした三男ジャギの登場です。世紀末の群像劇を描いた傑作北斗の拳。個性豊かな友が数多くする劇中でもジャギほど純度の高い悪は他にいないと言っても良いでしょう。復讐心に駆られ凶行に及ぶ姿は今なお語り継がれています。その魅力を全身くまなく再現した新作スタチュー、ぜひ細部までじっくりとご覧ください。左手でライダースジャケットを広げ、偽りの北斗七星を見せつける。ジャギの卑劣さ、よこしまな雰囲気を伝えるために選んだポージングはケンシロウの名を貶めんとしたあのシーンにインスパイアされたものです。睨みを利かせながら曲げた首、隆起した筋肉、無造作に開いた足、それぞれ調整を繰り返し最も彼らしいバランスを獲得しています。素材感にこだわったコスチュームも出色の出来栄えです。両肩の巨大なスパイクや腰に光るスカルのバックルから伝わる金属の重厚さ、ジャケットやホルスターににじみ出る使い込まれた革のタフな風合い、パーツごとにテクスチャーを変え多彩な塗装表現を駆使して仕上げました。荒廃した世紀末を生きるそのリアリティが息づいています。ジャギをジャギたらしめる頭部パーツは2種類ご用意。ヘルメットをかぶった状態はフォルム、カラーリングなど全てが劇中通り。その奥には狂気に満ちた目元と口元が覗いています。そしてもう一方の素顔は目を背けたくなるほどハイディティール。血流を促すチューブや矯正用のプレートとボルトが一つ一つ作り込まれ、破裂しそうな頭部からは義弟への深い恨みが感じ取れるでしょう。また右手パーツも3種類付属し、さまざまなシーンを演出することが可能。ならず者御用達のソードオフショットガンを構え、高圧的に曲げた指先に怨念が宿る平手で尽きることのない暴力衝動。強く握った拳からは北斗に名を連ねる者の宿命が。どれを選ぶかはあなた次第です。さらに特製ベースもファン心をくすぐる衣装を盛り込みました。瓦礫から突き出たマフラーやタイヤ、エンジンはアイシャンチョッパーから。また正面に配した胸像はお分かりですよね。偉大な兄弟たちに続き、ついに立体化を果たした異形の男ジャギ。ハイディティールに表現された悪の花、ぜひあなたのコレクションにどうぞ。製品の最新情報はプライムワンスタジオの公式サイトと SNS で随時発信中です。お見逃しなく。
Set in the fictional world of Earthland, Fairy Tail is a much beloved series which follows the adventures of an intrepid wizard as he searches for the famed dragon Ignial.
フェアリーテールというのはですね、僕にとってはとても大切な作品で、というのもフェアリーテールを通じて知ってくれた日本や海外のファンがたくさんいると思いますので、今でも大切にしている作品です。今ここに飾られているこの3人と1匹っていうのは、もともとフェアリーテールの初期の方で最強のチームというコンセプトで作られた3人なんですけども、物語が進むにつれてさまざまなね仲間がどんどん増えていって、最強チームって言われてもこの3人を連想する人は少なくなってきてるとは思うんですけども、それでもやっぱりこの3人並ぶとかっこいいし、なんだかんだで一番強い3人に見えるかなって気がしますね。はい、まず3体、厳密に言えばイグニールとハッピーもなんですけど、3体同時のフィギュアっていうものがやはりすごい珍しかったですし、コンセプトからしていいなと思いましたね。そんで実際監修していくうちにやっぱりかっこいいなと思いましたし、僕はやっぱりキャラクターの顔をやっぱ一番見てしまうんですけども、漫画のキャラクターを立体にする時ってやっぱり顔が結構難しいと思うんですよね。僕の作品はどちらかというと淡白な線でザ・漫画っていう感じの絵柄なので、これをね結構リアルな感じで作ると大変だと思うんですけども、今回本当にね素晴らしい感じの造形になっていると思います。体もそうですし、服の質感もそうですし、特に僕感心したのがエルザの鎧の傷跡なんですよね。ここまで再現されたフィギュアってあんまりないなと思ってるんで、すごいかっこいいなと思いました。あとイグニールのガチ感がいいですね。ガチのドラゴンのフィギュアって感じでかっこいいですね。玄関に飾ります。僕今玄関にも大きめのスタチュー置いてあるんですけども、そのスタチューどかしてですね、自分の作品のスタチューをドーンと置きます。これでねまたデリバリーの方に見バレする恐れが出てくるんですけど、それでもこれ玄関にやっぱ置いたら迫力あるだろうなと思うんで、玄関に置きたいと思います。世界中のファンの皆様どうも、真島です。こちらのスタチューね、もうめちゃくちゃかっこいいんで、ぜひね実際目で見て、手に取れる方はねぜひ手に取って確認してみてほしいんですけども、これからも多分フェアリーテールのフィギュアって海外でもたくさん展開していくと思いますので、こちらもぜひ注目していただければなと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Mashima Sensei, an impressively talented creator and disarmingly humble person. Up next is a beautiful statue from a story about an orphan, a robot, and a touching journey.
奈落の底で待つ、そうしたためられた一通の手紙をきっかけに、一人また一人と集まる冒険の仲間たち。どこまで続くともしれない巨大な縦穴で彼女たちは何と出会い、何を知るのか。今年放送の第2期テレビシリーズも話題を呼んだ異色のファンタジーから待望の立体化です。 アニメメイドインアビスよりリコ、レグ、ナナチをどうぞ。母のような伝説の探掘家になることを夢見る孤児のリコ、自らの失われた記憶を求めるロボットのレグ、親友を不死の呪縛から解放する術を探す半獣のナナチ、アビスの謎に挑戦するリコ3体の3人をその探求心や互いを支え合う心と一緒に現実世界へ連れ出しました。絵本を思わせる独特の淡く優しいタッチも作中そのまま。それでは一人一人じっくり見ていきましょう。満面の笑みを浮かべるのはリーダーのリコ。金髪ツインテール、おでこ、メガネといった特徴が忠実に再現されています。ヘッドライトがついたヘルメットからビギナーであることを示す赤笛や足元を守るブーツに至るまで冒険を助ける装備品もまた同様。一見シンプルに見える造形、塗装ながら膨大な情報量が込められており、立体物ならではの説得力が生まれています。リコに支えられ大空へ手を伸ばしているのがレグ。金色の瞳には気弱ながら高い戦闘力で仲間を守る彼らしさを映しているようです。浅黒い肌も絶妙な色合いで表現されており、アイコンである金属の手足にはリアルな鋳造表現とスクラッチ加工が。もちろん仮想法も火力を想起させる仕上がりです。そして口元に手をやり、二人をにこやかに見つめるのがナナチです。その顔に浮かぶ豊かな表情は、慣れ果てになりながらも失われなかった人間性の証。透明感いっぱいの瞳や牙を覗かせる小さな口には可愛さが溢れています。大きな耳から尻尾まで、半獣ならではの毛並みもしっかり作り込みました。その印象はまさにふわふわ。レグならずとも触りたくなるのが当然です。切り立った岩肌、澄んだ小川、苔むした古木と大きな花を咲かせる常しえ香。特製ベースはオースの町があるアビスの淵をイメージしたもの。リコ3体の一員、メイニャも姿を見せ、作品世界への没入感を深めています。世界最後の秘境を前に生き生きとした姿を見せる仲間たち。その鮮やかな一瞬を封じ込め、あなたにお届けします。製品の最新情報はプライムワンスタジオ公式サイトと SNS で随時発信中です。
That was beautiful! Now, Dante, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the next highly anticipated statue such a perfect fit for the Prime 1 studio style?
Absolutely perfect. And highly anticipated is right. This next statue will blow your socks off or cut them off at the ankle, depending on whether you're a human or a devil.
エンジン音とともに増していく刃の回転数、断末魔を上げて肉塊へ変わる悪魔たち。プライムワンスタジオのラインナップに新時代を切り開くダークヒーローが加わりました。10月から始まったテレビアニメも大好評の話題作より悪魔の心臓を持つ者、 チェーンソーマンをご覧ください。裏切りに遭い殺された借金まみれの少年デンジ。しかし悪魔ポチタと契約を交わした彼は心臓をもらいチェーンソーマンとして蘇ります。この予測不能な展開と常軌を逸した世界観を持つ物語の主人公を立体化するにあたり、プライムワンスタジオは血の表現を追求しました。暴力、恐怖、再生、願い、そうした作品の根底に流れるものを感じていただけるようさまざまな表現方法を駆使しています。まず目を奪われるのが3本のまがまがしい刃。両腕の2本は無機質な鈍色と血の通う素肌のペイントがコントラストを描き、体を裂いて現れる時の激痛すら想起させる仕上がりです。異形の頭部からせり出す1本はまさにチェーンソー。打痕が残るオレンジの外装、頑強なガンメタルのハンドル、内蔵した LED で発光するイエローの瞳などと一体となり、デンジが契約した悪魔の力を象徴しています。そして刃先から滴るのがおびただしい量の血。吹きつけられた赤はどす黒く、粘着性を感じさせる色合いに調色されています。刃を振るった相手が人ならざるものであることがお分かりいただけるでしょう。特製ベースも隙のない出来栄えです。ハンドルや動力ベルトといった頭部の衣装をコラージュし、その上に無慈悲なバトルシーンをレイアウト。切り刻まれた悪魔たちは苦悶の表情を浮かべ、クリアレジンでできた血の花を咲かせています。また本作には豊富なパーツが付属するバージョンも用意しました。頭部パーツは大きく舌を出した表情やデンジの素顔に差し替え可能。胸のスターターロープを引く左腕パーツを使えば変身ポーズを取らせることもできます。さらにはポチタのディスプレイフィギュアもついているので、お好きな組み合わせでメインシーンを演出してください。圧倒的な存在感を持って立体化されたチェーンソーマン、血は筋肉を踊る興奮とともにお送りします。製品の最新情報はプライムワンスタジオの公式サイトと SNS で随時発信中です。
Simply mind-blowing. Now, up next are a couple of teasers for more anime titles that are in development for Prime One Studio. I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
The cyberpunk action epic Gum, or as it's more commonly known, Battle Angel Alita, has had the last 30 years to firmly embed itself into the hearts of manga and anime lovers alike. Not only is Gally an incredibly sympathetic character, but the gritty world building in this series is like nothing else.
Composed of a hybrid of polystone and PVC, Prime One Studios' newest statue line, PRISMA Wing, has been a showcase of the studio's stunning talents and unique expertise. But who better to introduce this next segment than PRISMA Wing's lovable spokesperson?
Hey!
Hi!
ダンテさん、静香さん、ご視聴いただいている皆さん、こんにちは。プリズマウィングのナビゲーター、プリズムです。本日はプライムワンスタジオが送るフィギュアブランドプリズマウィングよりとっておきの最新情報をお届けします。こちらの動画をどうぞ。
ソードアートオンラインプリズマウィングスタチュー7分の1スケールアスナ。プライムワンスタジオの手掛けるフィギュアブランドプリズマウィングからダイナミックな商品化です。アニメを制作した A1 ピクチャーズによるこのフィギュアのために書き下ろされたイラストをもとに立体化しました。ソードアートオンラインのアインクラッド編にてアスナの所属するギルド血冥騎士団の制服姿、凛々しくランベントライトを振りかざすポーズと造形物としての魅力を高める豪華台座がすごい閃光の軌跡、足元に広がる翼状のエフェクト、 劇中の情景をジオラマ風にまとめ上げ、大ボリュームで再現される世界観。風に舞い踊る髪の動き、軽やかに広がる衣装、凛とした表情も巧みに再現されています。そして注目なのはスタチューメーカープライムワンスタジオらしい素材選定。台座は重厚感のある質感を重視したポリストーン製。アスナ本体は肌の透明感をみずみずしく再現するため PVC 製。重量感としなやかさ、軽やかさを融合させ、異なる素材の長所を生かしたハイブリッドな仕様でお届けいたします。さらにベースをシンプルにした通常版もご用意しますので、どちらを選ぶか迷ってしまいますね。かつてない情報量の高さでお届けする先行のアスナ、ぜひお楽しみください。こちらは近日予約開始を予定していて、プライムワンスタジオ公式オンラインストア購入特典として本書き下ろしイラストの布ポスターがついてきます。続報はプリズマウィング SNS プライムワンスタジオホームページにてお届けいたします。ぜひぜひチェックしてくださいね。お楽しみに。
The Lord of the Rings trilogy may very well go down in the annals of film history as the greatest film trilogy of all time. J.R.R. Tolkien's world building is second to none, and the execution of the films were a feast for any Tolkien fan. Up next are two figures any fan of the movies would love to have.
J.R.R. Tolkien's sweeping epic, The Lord of the Rings, is a grand tale of good versus evil, power and humility, magic and hope. Prime One Studio has delivered a number of characters from The Lord of the Rings in the past, and to add to this incredible collection, they bring 2 new statues today. First up is the favored son of Denethor II, the steward of Gondor, Boromir. Boromir was a noble warrior, possessed of the passionate belief in the kingdom of men and the greatness it could yet achieve. He was loved by all, from his fellow soldiers to his father. Boromir joined the Fellowship of the Ring to watch over the ring-bearer, Frodo Baggins, against the forces of Sauron. Prime One Studio presents a painfully beautiful tribute to the tragic hero who sacrificed his life to protect the hobbits in The Fellowship of the Ring. The skillful and artistic teams at Prime One Studio have taken great care in portraying Boromir, as played by the exceptional Sean Bean, at a pivotal moment from Fellowship. In this action-packed statue, Boromir makes a stand on the grassy hills of Parth-Galen, near the wooded hills of Amon Hen. He has fearlessly drawn his sword against the approaching Uruk-hai. You can see the many different textures on each of the layered Gondorian garment that Boromir wears, from his leather tunic to the fragile golden scrollwork of his undergarment to the metallic roughness of his chainmail armor. This statue is a love letter to the man who died a hero. Likewise, Prime One Studio's expert painters chose realistic tones to depict the golden locks, the subtle hues of his skin flushed with adrenaline, the blood from his wounds, and the trampled mud telling the story of a long journey that was to end on this spot. In this scene, Boromir has already taken 2 of the Uruk-hai leader Lurtz's arrows and is still fighting, giving Merry and Pippin the precious moments they need to escape. Boromir stands his ground on the slopes of Parth-Galen, faithfully recreated by Prime One Studio to reflect the realistic gravel, tree roots, and leaves in the area. The back of the pedestal base features one of the statues at Amon Hen that serves as a reminder of an earlier age. Boromir is an inspiring, courageous sight to behold. But that's not all we have from The Lord of the Rings. Making his own stand against the forces of Sauron is the Istar sent to Middle-earth in the Third Age, the servant of the secret fire and the holder of the Flame of Anor, Gandalf the Grey. Gandalf was a Mire sent to Middle-earth to assist the growing number of people allied against the looming threat of Lord Sauron. He took the shape of an old man, which belied his great strength and power. Today, Prime One Studio brings you Gandalf the Grey, standing his ground in the dwarven halls of Khazad-dûm against a threat of immense proportions. Prime One Studio sculptors have really nailed the likeness of Cirion McKellen in this stunning scene, with his flowing locks and billowy grey robes, holding aloft his magical staff and a sword Landring. Gandalf strikes a powerful pose meant to stop the evil that is advancing on him in its tracks. This statue of Gandalf is breathtaking to look at, as it is full of intricate detailing one has to see up close to believe. While crafted in polystone, the amazing artists at Prime One Studio have made Gandalf's hat seem made of felt, while his cloak has a coarse woolen texture, as his staff appears to be hewn from the oldest wood. Looking like a wizened old wizard, Gandalf is capable of fantastic displays of power that rivals the Balrog itself. And speaking of the Balrog, Gandalf makes his stand on a breathtaking base that is made from smoke, shadow, and fire. The stunning base features the great head of the Balrog, a Mire not unlike Gandalf himself, but who has taken the form of this evil being set against the courageous Istar wizard. Illuminated by LEDs, this base shows off a raging fire, billowing smoke, and a mini scene of the ensuing conflict. I tell you, this is the Gandalf statue to get, my friends. Official Prime One Studios social channels and their official website are the places to watch to be able to snatch up both of these incredible The Lord of the Rings statues as soon as they are announced.
The Jurassic Park and Jurassic World series of movies have cemented themselves in the collective consciousness of pop culture aficionados all over the world as the definitive, action-packed dinosaur experience. This year has brought the Saurian saga to a close with Jurassic World Dominion. Up next are 2 movies in the Jurassic series featuring characters that we ultimately love for scaring the bejesus out of us.
This next level X is justifiably jam-packed with Jurassic reveals that will sure to thrill, as we have 2 sets of amazingly lifelike dinosaur action. With me are 2 breathtaking statues from both the Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic World Dominion. First, the Lost World Jurassic Park was one of the most highly anticipated films in 1997. As the follow-up to Jurassic Park, the film was loosely based on Michael Crichton's second book in the Jurassic Park series, The Lost World. A sequel to the highest-grossing film at the time, The Lost World Jurassic Park was a darker, science fiction action film set on the island of Isla Sorna, the second island that John Hammond's company, InGen, used to actually create the dinosaurs for the ill-fated theme park. For Next Level X, Prime 1 Studio would like to bring to you its most adoring fans a thrilling scene from that film, The Lost World, Jurassic Park T-Rex Cliff Attack. T-Rex Cliff Attack brings us to a pivotal moment in the film where Eddie Carr, equipment specialist and engineer, is trying to save Dr. Ian Malcolm and Dr. Sarah Harding from plummeting to their deaths into the cold, dark seas of Isla Sorna. Eddie gets into the vehicle to pull up Ian and Sarah, who are hanging off a cliff for dear life on a single rope, using the truck's winch. But fate has a completely different plan for Eddie, as a pair of adult Tyrannosaurus Rexes arrive on the scene to interrupt his rescue mission. Prime 1 Studio has chosen this tense, life or death situation as the moment to immortalize it in T-Rex attack. Prime 1 Studio sculptors have composed an elaborate diorama scene, which finds 2 adult T-Rexes at the moment they realize that there's a delicious snack to be had inside this curious metal container. You as the viewer will be fully immersed in this pulse-pounding scene as you take in all the textures, colors, and environmental details of this breathtaking diorama. Each T-Rex was hand-sculpted by a master studio sculptor and imbued with powerful theropod life to elicit the exact emotions of a 15,000-pound, 40-foot dinosaur. In this diorama, they have been stalking and have walked up to a minuscule contraption, attracted by the noise and movements inside. While we certainly know what is about to transpire having seen the movie, this wonderfully rendered scene hangs between life and death. The T-Rex couple and the truck inhabit a lush, wet portion of Isla Sorna, situated dangerously close to a cliff, the very cliff Ian and Sarah should currently be hanging off of. Just look at the quality of the trees, the plants, mud, and water puddles. The way the glossy finish of the rain makes the scales and muscles of the T-Rexes look. The careful, exacting painting style of the studio is clearly evident in how well this moment is rendered. This fantastic diorama is finished off with a wonderful platform depicting fossilized dinosaur skeletons, encased within the earth, where they were less dangerous.
Next, we fast forward in time to the Jurassic Saga's ultimate chapter, Jurassic World Dominion. This science fiction action epic thrilled fans the world over when it brought together the OG cast from Jurassic Park with the new hotshots of Jurassic World. In this thrilling conclusion to the Jurassic World trilogy, we encounter an older Blue, Owen Grady's most loved and trusted Velociraptor with an adorable surprise of her own. Prime 1 Studio is incredibly proud to bring you a heartwarming vignette into the life of one of the saga's most fan-favorite dinosaurs, Jurassic World Dominion, Blue and Beta. In this impressive and quaint diorama from the blockbuster movie, the highly intelligent Velociraptor Blue, named so for the telltale, unique blue strap along her body, stops in a North America forest to survey her surroundings. If you remember, we last saw Blue in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, right after she escaped the nefarious clutches of Ellie Mills and his illegal schemes and ran off into the wilderness. 4 years after the events of the last film, Blue found herself in an arboreal forest with her adorable baby, Beta. Here we see Beta observing her mother carefully for cues on how to behave and how to regard the unfamiliar environment. I wish you could see this statue up close because you wouldn't believe the amount of intricate detailing these statues contain. You can see every scale and wrinkle. The lifelike painting of these figures is impeccable. Whether they pick T-Rex, Cliff Attack, Blue and Beta, or both, all over the world, fans of Jurassic Park will come to love these cool dioramas from The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Jurassic World Dominion.
To learn about pre-order and release dates, make sure to stay tuned to all of Prime One Studios' social channels and official website.
In the third installment of the Predator franchise, hapless humans are toyed with by the cunning hunter this next statue is based on. So be on your toes and keep a watchful eye for what's coming up next.
The undisputed big bad of the action-packed 2010 film Predators is with no doubt this bad boy right here. Prime One Studio is proud to present what can be described as the meanest, cruelest, and most sadistic predator to grace the silver screen, the Berserker Predator from Predators. Up to this point, we have always viewed the Yautja, that's the name of the predator species, as a ruthless but ultimately honorable race of intergalactic, bloodthirsty hunters that are bound by their own moral code. But what if not every predator adhered to that code? The answer to that question is this guy. In the film Predators, the Berserker Predator was the leader of a trio of super predators who brought prey to an otherworldly game-preserved planet for the thrill of hunting. But not just hunting, this decrepit gang of deathmongers also tortured their prey psychologically. As we find out in the film, the Berserker Predator was an outcast, even in the extreme society that the Yautja inhabited, because he just did not follow the rules. Large and imposing, the talented artists at Prime One Studio have worked hard to make that murderous mastermind look amazing in polystone form. From the large domed breathing mask alone, you already know he means business because of the protruding bony jaw and teeth at the bottom. You could spend hours upon hours just taking in all the intricate detailing on the head tendrils, spikes, scaly skin, and sparse armor this cunning hunter possesses. And what would a predator be without his impressive array of ranged and bladed melee weapons? I mean, still scary, but even scarier with the weapons. And speaking of scary, wait till you spy what's underneath that helmet. Talk about nightmare fuel. The other predators we've seen are straight up cover models compared to his ghastly grimace. This frightening final boss stands surrounded by the detritus of his exploits. There are skulls aplenty as human, primate, and even Yautja craniums litter the killing fields of this game-preserved planet. If you have a Predator collection or are wanting to start one, there's no better one to pre-order than this amazing statue. Head over to Prime One Studios' official website and channels to get the latest on the Berserker Predator.
The DC Universe is an ever-expanding realm of legendary characters and amazing stories. Prime One Studio is unbelievably proud to be able to keep bringing you a constantly broadening choice of figures to reinforce your fandom.
DC Comics is replete with a multitude of superheroes. Furthermore, the prolific publisher possesses a plethora of many different versions of those superheroes. The next DC Comics statue is one such character. Power Girl first appeared in All-Star Comics number 58 in 1976. And depending on the timeline, dimension, or let's face it, publishing initiative, her alter ego is either Karen Starr, Kara Zor-El, or Kara Zor-El. El, you say? As in Kal-El? Yes, dear fans, she is none other than Superman's Kryptonian cousin. In the universe of Earth 2, Power Girl's parents put her in a rocket, much like her cousin Kal-El, to save her from the destruction of Krypton 2. However, in this alternate universe, she takes on the mantle of Power Girl when she arrives on Earth 2 instead of taking a page from her super-powered cousin. In more recent years, Power Girl has been folded into the main DC universe, peacefully coexisting but markedly different from her much younger biological equivalent, Supergirl. Prime One Studio presents a beautiful update to a powerful character, the 1/3 scale Museum Masterline Power Girl from DC Comics. Power Girl soars through the air at home amongst the clouds and winged denizens of the sky. The artistic teams at Prime 1 Studio have taken their time to bring out the right balance of strength and beauty for this Power Girl statue. Few and far between, a Power Girl statue deserves the utmost respect and care to make her as compelling to display on fans' shelves as any other DC superhero. For instance, hair is one of the most difficult features to sculpt, yet the top-notch team at the studio have been meticulous with their rendering of Kara's bob. As you can see, this is the case with the texturing on her suit, which more often than not would appear as plain stretchy fabric in unskilled hands. Prime 1 Studio's Power Girl has unbelievable texture not only to her suit, but also on her cape, gloves, and boots. Power Girl's paint job was applied as carefully as well. With a subject like her, the application had to be sublime and subtle, highlighting her attractive features as much as her powerful muscular physique. You need only look upon her face to see how lovely this statue looks. Her deep blue eyes tell the whole story. Power Girl's base features a cool environment to highlight her powers of flight. Here she floats among the clouds and birds with her name emblazoned front and center. A super tribute to a super cousin. Want to hear more about Power Girl? Stay tuned to all Prime 1 Studio social channels for the latest updates about Power Girl.
DC is also the home of numerous highly acclaimed artists that Prime 1 Studio has had the pleasure and benefit of collaborating with over the years. Up next is a fan-favorite character by a fan-favorite artist.
This is Libra Mayo with you guys for another Prime 1 Next Level showcase. And at long last, we can share with everybody the completed John Constantine statue. Constantine has been a character that has been a part of my life for a long time. I've done a number of covers, and obviously he was a big part of Batman Damned, and one of the most thrilling parts of seeing this particular statue come to fruition is seeing so many of those elements come to life in this particular design. Everything from the skeletons reaching up to him to the very subtle skull in the folds of the trench coat. I really think this statue is amazing to look at from multiple angles. The attention to detail from Prime 1 is always incredible, but in this particular statue, it's really on full display. And one of the many rewarding aspects about this has been just seeing these portraits come to life and being able to finally get to see that classic John Constantine from his original incarnation, very much based on Sting, the 80s hair and everything. Seeing that come to life in statue form and kind of stare back out at you is pretty incredible. And that's a nice contrast, with the more modern, slick Constantine that I do in Batman Damned. So hopefully offer people a pretty cool variety of choices here. And the final result of this really exceeded all of my expectations, and I kind of consider it the pinnacle of my collaboration with Prime 1 at this point. So I am very much looking forward to people being able to finally put this on display in their homes. Enjoy.
Created by the enigmatic Alan Moore, this supernatural character was made famous by hundreds of comic books, a live-action film, and a lengthy stint on the small screen. Snarky, cynical, and ruthlessly cunning, he is also a tireless humanitarian, hell-bent on doing some good in this world. Prime 1 Studio is incredibly proud to present the Hellblazer himself, John Constantine, by none other than the amazing Lee Bermejo. Lee Bermejo has graced these showcases in the past, most notably with his contributions from the Batman family and his rogues. Now, Lee delves into the spooky world of shadow and sorcery to bring to life, or should I say death, the conniving con man of the occult. As you can see for yourself, Lee has brought us a terrific take on John Constantine. He always has a way of bringing out a character's true personality with just a look, or in this case, a smirk. Nothing is too reverential for Constantine, shown here standing on his own grave it seems. Here lies John Constantine, his gravestone says. Whatever did it, he deserved it. You can believe that whoever wrote that epitaph could just as easily be a friend as a foe. John wears his trademark tan trench coat, white shirt, and slacks, rendered to stunning realism by Prime 1 Studio sculptors and painters, to Lee Bermejo's exacting style. His clothes really do look like a second skin on him. Would he still be John Constantine in anything else? Surrounding John is a squad of skeletons, and the Angel of Death preparing to collect his prize, ready to surround John with the deathly embrace of his wing. Or rather, it's something that looks like what the Angel of Death is supposed to look like. After all, nothing in Constantine's life is as it seems. If you are prepared for the next Lee Bermejo masterpiece, as we know you are, head over to Prime 1 Studios' official website and channels to get the latest on this spectacular statue.
Hello, my name is Clayman. I'm a comic book artist with DC. I've done a lot of books, Superman, Action Comics, Trinity, Heroes in Crisis, most recently Batman and Catwoman. I'm happy to be in front of the Prime 1 Studio fans today. I myself have been one for a long time. I get to see my friends and colleagues works translated into these amazing statues, and I've always wondered what it would take, or for me to get one, and what it would look like. And well, we don't have to wait anymore. Prime 1 Studio and I would like to reveal our collaboration with a brand new statue. Fans might remember in 1993, the Batman animated series film, The Mask of Phantasm. That movie introduced the Phantasm, who quickly became a fan favorite villain. Well, in 2020, Tom King and I brought her into the DC universe in Batman and Catwoman #1. And today, Prime 1 Studio and I bring her to life for everyone to enjoy with a brand new statue. I gotta say, it was so much fun, this process of designing a statue with Prime 1. I think they did an amazing job just bringing what I put on paper to real life, 3D. A lot of stuff I never think about, just the way the cape and the materials and the real life aspect of the costume. Can't wait to have it in my hands. I hope you can't wait to have it as well. So appreciate you being here for the reveal, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the showcase.
When the fans first saw the 2021 artist collaboration that was presented at Next Level Showcase 3, the internet exploded. It was definitely wild. Of course, as a DC fan myself, I was just as excited as everyone else. In collaboration with the artist Gabriele Dell'Otto, they have created a Batman worthy of their 10th anniversary. We hope you enjoy it.
Ciao a tutti, sono Gabriele e questo video è un video di congratulazioni e di auguri per John e tutto lo staff creativo della Prime Studio per il loro 10° anniversario di attività nel campo della produzione di statue supereroistiche e non. E quale miglior modo per festeggiare un 10° anniversario se non con una nuova collaborazione? Quest'anno la Prime Studio ha prodotto, ormai di prossima uscita, nei prossimi mesi, la statua Batman Tactical Throne che vedete qui alle mie spalle, tratta da una delle illustrazioni che ho realizzato appunto per la DC. Non vediamo l'ora di averla fra le mani, di vederla dal vero. Io ringrazio veramente lo scultore e tutti coloro che hanno collaborato al progetto. Ringrazio John e ringrazio tutti voi che ci seguite sempre. Un caro abbraccio, un caro saluto a tutti quanti e al prossimo video. Ciao!
This product is a collaboration with the comic book cover artist, Gabriel Del Otto. He's one of the best artists and he creates some of the most stylish, realistic looking illustrations there are.
これまで数多くのバットマンスたちを手掛けてきたからこその質感を出すことができたと思っています。今までにないバットマンスタチューに仕上がりました。
In this scene, Batman looks as if he's pondering deeply about a mysterious incident. Or perhaps he is remembering a faint clue, becoming puzzled by its purpose.
The 4 small screens that are displayed behind Batman are the most eye-catching features.
搭載するミニディスプレイの選定、セッティングの調節には膨大な時間をトライアンドエラーに費やしました。
I've never seen a statue with screens like this before, especially not 4 of them. It's really unique and it's super cool. But these aren't the only secrets this phenomenal diorama has to offer. By turning the turntable around and looking at the secret Batcave entrance, you can see that he's standing next to the easily recognizable Batmobile. Just turn the statue around and Batman is ready to head out into his next grandiose adventure.
In addition, for the first time ever, Prime One Studio has created a statue of Batman's butler, Alfred. When displayed with a tactile throne, you really do feel like you're in the Batcave.
Alfred is irreplaceable to both Bruce Wayne and the Batcave. The addition of Alfred to this Batman statue will make the Batcave display even more perfect than it already was.
It's no exaggeration to say that this Batman statue from Prime One Studio is groundbreaking.
Gabriel Del Otto, in collaboration with the talented sculptors and painters at Prime One Studio, have delivered a centerpiece for your collection that will blow all the others away. It's The Batman Tactical Throne by Gabriel Del Otto.
DC Comics is the home to a host of comic book legends. Jack Kirby, Neil Adams, Frank Miller, to name only a few. We're certain that you'll consider the next artist a fitting member of that illustrious group. Many of Prime One Studios' most popular and sought-after statues have included ones that were designed by this legendary artist and the creative heart of DC. Let's take a special look at all the amazing work we've done with the amazing Jim Lee.
So I went online to see how Prime One Studio describes himself, and this is what I found. Prime One Studio is a specialty manufacturer of licensed and proprietary collectible products, which seems to me to be a very long-winded and fancy way of saying, essentially, we make magic. Hello everyone, my name is Jim Lee. I am the publisher and chief creative officer here at DC Comics. I'm also a comic book illustrator, and I've had the amazing good fortune of working with my good friends at Prime One Studio on a number of different sculpts and products over the years. And speaking of years, let me just first congratulate them. They are celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. They are top of class, in my opinion, in terms of the kind of work they do. And I think of them as true collaborators in every sense of the word. When you think about what we do as comic book storytellers, we are telling a story through static 2D images, whether it's comic books, animation, film, or TV. What Prime One Studio has to do is take these static images and bring them to life, literally bring them to life, fully realized in 3D. What's funny is I'll draw a shot from Batman Hush, for example, and it'll be Batman, Catwoman, Joker, but I'm not showing the fans, the readers, what's behind Batman's cape or what's behind any of the figures. Prime One Studio has to look at that same bit of reference and figure all that out. And I love their aesthetic choices, whether it's the textures, the technology, the colors, the gargoyles that they insert, the bases that they choose to basically prop up these heroes and villains on. All just masterful, just amazing aesthetic choices. And I can't thank them enough for really bringing these images to life in the most beautiful and incredibly fantastic ways. So thank you very much, Prime One Studio. Congratulations again on hitting this magical 10th year anniversary mark.
Published in 1986, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns remains a seminal work of art, the influence of which is still felt today. Fast forward to 2016, and The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, represented the culmination in a decades-long trilogy that served to expand the Dark Knight universe. Prime One Studio is proud to present a statue that was born out of the best and the rarest comic book cover from that publishing event. Master illustrator and DC Creative Chief Officer Jim Lee drew a breathtaking cover variant that was limited to only 500 copies. His assignment was simple: create a cover using imagery from the Frank Miller Dark Knight universe that encompassed the mood and the spirit of that world. Likewise, Prime One Studios' task was simple but challenging nonetheless: recreate Jim's thrilling cover, and portray all the drama and action that symbolizes the Dark Knight universe. Behold, Batman and Robin, Dead End. Prime One Studios' talented stable of sculptors and painters have outdone themselves yet again. In this tense diorama, we come upon the Dark Knight displaying the consequences of his ultimate conflict with the clown prince of crime, the Joker. Cornered in the tunnel of love with his good soldier Robin, Batman's exploits may be at a dead end as the Gotham City Police Department SWAT team descends upon their position. Just take a look at this amazing scene. Set in the shin-deep waters in an amusement park ride, Batman bleeding, Carrie Kelly in her Robin suit, doing her best to get her boss out of there. And floating in the water, the Joker, having broken his own neck, has laughed his last laugh. Look at the details rendered realistically by the studio's artists. The leather-like texture of Batman's cowl and cape, the telltale bleeding of the stab wound he received from the Joker, the shredded quality of Batman's costume. Similarly, Robin's hair has an ethereal quality to it, as does her cape and Robin outfit. You can feel the weight of the Batman by how expertly Robin is posed, as if bearing the brunt of Batman's need. And the Joker, with his rictus grin and pallid complexion, his bright green hair, and the last suit he would ever wear. A grim reminder of their eternal struggle, which came to an end tonight. Adding to the ominous tone, this set's environment is expertly interpreted by the artists as a fitting callback to the Batcave with its stalagmites and its cauldron of bats in the background. You could say that this statue is a fitting tribute to the survivability of the Batman, and you would be right. So then, how best to snag one for yourself once it's ready for pre-order? Stay tuned on all of Prime One's official channels and website so you don't miss a thing.
You can be sure that Jim Lee will be a great continuing partner on many creative projects yet to come.
And now, on to something you probably thought you'd never see. These two characters took the world by storm in the highly anticipated follow-up to the blockbuster film from 1989. We know that you'll agree that it was high time for these two characters to receive the Prime One Studio treatment.
딱 하게 될 거라는 말을 들었을 때 아, 드디어 원조를 만드는구나.
굉장히 좋았습니다. 설레었고요. 어린 시절 추억도 있고, 그리고 요즘에 너무 물밀듯이 나오는 히어로들에 비해서 날 것 같은 멋스러움이 많이 묻어나더라고요.
89년도의 영화를 재현한다라는 거는 그 뻣뻣함과 어색함을 우리는 그냥 그대로 만든다라고 하면 의미가 없을 것 같고, 그래도 브릿지웨이만 만들 수 있는 그런 느낌을 찾기 위해서 노력을 많이 했던 것 같습니다.
그 부담감이 있어요. 많은 사람들이 그 캐릭터를 그만큼 좋아해줬다는 거기도 하기 때문에 공감할 만한 이미지를 어떻게 하면 잘 표현할 수 있을지에 대한 그런 것들이 가장 어려웠던 것 같아요. 배트맨일 때의 마이클 키튼과 브루스 웨인일 때의 마이클 키튼, 이 두 가지의 얼굴을 표현했어야 됐는데, 먼저 브루스 웨인일 때는 약간 여유로움, 편안한 영앤 리치함을 좀 표현하기 위해서 눈빛에서 힘은 있지만 몸은 좀 힘을 푼, 살짝 짝다리 짚고 힘을 뺀 멋있음을 표현하려고 했던 것 같아요.
80년도에 부자들이 입는 의상은 어떤 것인가에 대해서 생각을 가장 많이 했던 것 같아요. 그때의 패션을 봤을 때 넓은 어깨와 넓은 바지 같은 그 느낌을 이대로 살릴 거냐 아니면 조금 더 세련되게 바꿀 거냐에 대해서 고민을 많이 했었는데, 의상팀과의 내린 결론은 어쨌든 고정에 대한 부분은 지키되 더 예쁜 느낌이 뭔가에 대해서 얘기를 많이 했었고요.
배트맨일 때는 브루스 웨인 때랑은 완전 다른 사람인 것처럼 보이거든요. 몸에 긴장도 많이 되고 몸도 뻣뻣하고 이렇게 강인한 모습을 표현했는데, 통고무로 만들었기 때문에 여기까지 마스크도 연결되어 있고 조금 뻣뻣한 게 뭔가 전 더 매력이었다고 생각을 하거든요. 자세도 좀 정자세, 그리고 고개도 살짝 이제 눈빛만으로 이렇게 이제 표현하는, 처음 딱 봤을 때 느껴졌던 이미지는 눈이 너무 예뻤어요. 그윽하고 깊고 눈 컬러도 너무 예쁘고 사람들이 이런 눈의 그 분위기를 너무 좋아했겠구나. 제가 기존에 만들 때 항상 그 눈의 느낌을 잘 표현하려고 많이 노력을 하는데, 이번에는 특히 더 눈을 많이 그리고 눈 색깔도 한번 입혀보고 많은 테스트를 해보면서 했던 것 같습니다. 배트맨이라고 딱 생각을 하니까 처음에 만들 때 하관을 꽉 담은 느낌으로 만들었었어요. 근데 생각보다 마이클 키튼의 느낌이 안 나는 거예요. 그래서 자꾸 이제 영화를 보면서 파악을 했는데, 딱 입은 다물었는데 입 안에서 치아를 살짝 벌리니까 딱 마이클 키튼의 그 느낌이 많이 나더라고요. 왜냐면은 그걸 꽉 다물었을 때는 얼굴이 좀 짧아져요. 입 안에서 다물었지만 살짝 열면 얼굴이 갸름해지거든요. 약간 길어지잖아요. 근데 그 길어졌을 때가 이미지더라고요. 사람들이 기억하는 이미지.
배트맨은 배트케이브, 브루스 웨인은 웨인가가 쭉 살아온 저택을 모티브로 해서 좀 디자인을 많이 가미했습니다. 제가 많이 신경을 쓴 부분은 공간감이거든요. 저택 지하에 배트케이브가 있듯이 이스트에그 같은 요소를 살짝 넣어봤거든요. 배트맨 베이스에 파이프 지나가고 전선이 지나가고 그 안에 또 동굴 벽이 보이고, 브루스 웨인 베이스 뒤편에 보면 철망 안에 베테랑이 감춰져 있는 그런 것들을 유심히 봐주셨으면 감사하겠습니다.
아무래도 지금 배트맨을 좋아하는 세대들은 아예 모르는 영화일 수도 있는데, 지금 너무 세련되고 예쁜 배트맨을 보는 시각에 조금 벗어나서 그 시대에 맞는 배트맨을 어떻게 표현했나라는 것도 좀 감상할 수 있는 포인트가 되지 않을까?
아트적인 부분을 많이 가미를 했고요. 굉장히 섬세하고 꼭 있어야 될 요소들이 다 들어가 있다.
어느 때보다도 더 고증에 좀 충실하려고 노력했고, 그때 그 시절의 감성을 최대한 녹여내려고 노력을 많이 했거든요. 최선을 다해 만든 만큼 많은 분들이 좋아해 줬으면 좋겠습니다.
So, Shizuka, how was it? What did you think of all those amazing reveals in part 1 of Next Level X?
Oh, I was not prepared for how many cool products we would see today, and they were all executed so well. Please tell me that's not all.
That's not all.
Ooh.
To all our passionate fans and convention goers out there, please note that Prime 1 Studio is planning to exhibit many other products revealed today at this year's Tokyo Comic-Con 2022, which will be held in Chiba, Japan, beginning Friday, November 25th.
We hope you can make it, and we hope to see you there.
Prime 1 Studio, Shizuka and I thank you for being part of Next Level X Part 1. Mark your calendars and set your reminders for the next part dropping in December 2022. See you all here next time at Next Level X
Part 2.
Prime 1 Studios.
Next Level X, Part 1.
Cut! Okay!
Itomo.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, okay.
Okay, ありがとうございます。
Before I go, I have just one more special announcement to make. As our faithful viewers may already know, here at Prime 1 Studio, we are always expanding a line of polystone statues and PVC figures. Well, I'm happy to announce that coming soon, we'll be bringing to you a brand new line of statues that feature Prime 1 Studio's very own original concepts, including never-before-imagined combinations from your favorite series. For more information, be sure to tune into Next Level Showcase X Part 2. See you there.